The National Transportation Safety Board is also trying to figure out what caused a sightseeing helicopter to crash into the Hudson River near New York City. It happened Thursday, killing all 6 people on board, including a family from Spain.
Prince Harry spoke out following 2 days of hearings in his legal battle to regain automatic state-funded security in the UK.
The crash is raising alarms about the safety of such tourism flights. Allie Bauman was among the first on the scene and is here now with the latest on the investigation. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. Federal investigators say they're not going to speculate on what caused this crash, at least until they collect all the pieces. They are still looking for the helicopter's main rotor, which may be key in determining what went wrong.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever you are listening from across the world. Welcome to the Mr. Freemason channel for another live, and thank you for joining me. I hope you're all doing very well. Today is April the 14th, 2025. So I will just give it a few minutes before we start today's show, and just give a couple of people a few chances to join us. So, as always, we will do a roll call in the meantime. If you'd like to let us know in the chat section where everybody is listening from, we'll be coming very close. So, a big shout out to our regular exotic doll. Thank you for joining us in the live stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed the last stream as well with regards to Russell Brand. Just an update with Russell Brand. If you do watch the other channel that I run, which is just gone viral, Russell Brand will be appearing at court on the 2nd of May. So we'll be hopefully going to go and cover that, and hopefully we can have a look at numerology afterwards and see how the numbers tie in with that. So if you're new here at the channel here, we like to cover numerology, astrology, and how it applies to news articles, crime, rituals, Freemasonry, and numerology astrology. As always, the numbers that we take into consideration that always tend to show up in numerology and articles and crime are the numbers 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 19, 22, 23, and last of all, 33. So in most of the lives I've covered before, where crime has come up, the most popular number that you will find is the number 3. The third letter of the alphabet is C. Crime also starts with C. So you'll notice the number 3 will come up in today's live quite a bit with regards to what's gone on. So just a rundown of what's going on in today's show. We'll be taking a look at the helicopter crash that happened in the Hudson River. This happened on the 11th. The same day as Prince Harry visited, and it was also the same day that there was another crash that happened with regards to a plane crash in Florida. The numbers, will be taking a look at them in these articles and seeing how they apply to numerology and what they tell us about it. Thank you to the other people that have joined us. Shout out to Wiz and also to you, Zombieland Variants. I hope you're all doing very well. If you've been paying attention to the news lately. Just to make people also aware that this week is also Passover. So it runs, I believe, from Sunday, yesterday, all the way up till Saturday this week. So be prepared to see quite a few events that go on. As we know, with regards to rituals and fulfillment, especially numerology, astrology, certain things have to be done on certain times and days, which is why the saying goes, timing is everything. So just a few of you to shout out. No, you haven't missed anything so far. Exotic Doll, we've not long just got started, so thanks for joining us. Also to you, Wiz, and also Zombieland Variants. very well spotted. You got in there before I did Zombieland variants, but thanks for that spoiler. But yeah, well spotted. Katy Perry's original last name was Hudson as well. So yeah, very good link there. Thank you for that one. So anyway, with that being said, we'll start with the show. And today's video, we'll go through it with regards to numerology, astrology, and see what it breaks down and tells us. Also, before I go any further, just a quick shout out and thank you to those people who contacted me with regards to the app. I'm basically just in the final stage of collaborating everybody's kind of details. There's one or two people I'm just waiting on to actually send me their email address. I have asked them several times. Failing that, then I can just rely on the ones that I've got. I've had an awesome response. So thank you very much for those people who've participated. You will be getting a link in the next, probably I'd say 48 hours. So if you follow that link, it will open up the early access app for you. I believe it will give you 5 premium goes, so that will give you 5 free readings, so you can do one for yourself and for other friends or family members, and kind of amaze them with your numerology skills. So, as I've said, today is April the 14th, 2025. It's a bit of a strange day today. The reason being is 1 and 4 equals 5. April is the 4th month, which gives us 9. It's 2025, which also gives us 9. Pardon me. And 9 and 9 together gives you 18. So that would also be 1 and 8, which also gives you the number 9. And there's not many days that happens, so that's quite rare. So starting with the helicopter crash that happened in the Hudson River. This was on the 11th of April. As we know in numerology, the 11th stands for the number of emotion, which is why you'll find events like 9/11 happened. There's been many historic events as well that have also happened on the 11th. The First World War was surrounded by the number 11. It ended at 11 o'clock on the 11th of the 11th, I believe, which is also why you have Remembrance Day, which is on the 11th day of the 11th month. And also every minute silence or 2 minute silence is held at 11 o'clock, regardless of what the event is. And this is all done on purpose, obviously to coincide and resonate on the same kind of vibration of energy that day, which is why certain things are done on certain times and days. So the helicopter crash, we had helicopter. The 8th letter of the alphabet is H. Helicopter begins with H. We also had Hudson. Hudson also begins with H, 8th letter. The actual number and model of the helicopter that crashed was B206, and 2 and 6 together in numerology gives you the number 8, which also refers back to the letter H. There were 6 people that lost their lives, sadly. We know in numerology and astrology that number 6 represents the number of home and family. The family of the Siemens family, the boss of the mobile phone company, was on that helicopter with his family. The sad news that also transpired was there were 3 children that lost their lives out of the 6 members of the family. So there's your first number 3, and also number 6, as we mentioned the numbers at the beginning of the live stream. So the number 6 will also come up again. It also happened on this day. So it was also the 11th of April. This is when the plane crash happened in Florida, and 6 people also lost their life, sadly. The number 11 is going to kind of coincide with regards to the accidents and the link, and when you kind of see what the correspondence is between these 2 events, bearing in mind that these 2 events that happened on the 11th of April, which was the helicopter crash in the Hudson River, and then you had the Florida plane crash. So we had a helicopter crash involved, a plane crash involved. This happened on the 11th of April. Now, if you cast your minds back, there was the helicopter crash also with the plane crash that happened in Washington DC. I believe that was on the 11th as well, because when we covered that in the live stream, we referred to the aeroplane company, which was the plane that went down that was struck by the helicopter, because that was American Airlines, and the first letter of the alphabet is A. So you have two ones, which would give you two A's, which stands for American Airlines. So on the 11th of April, we had the aeroplane crash that happened in Florida. So that was an aeroplane accident. So that would give you an AA. So on the same number day of different months, you had a helicopter accident crash as well as the aeroplane crash. So they just happened to coincidentally fall on the same numbered day. On the 11th of April as well, Prince Harry also begins with H, came to the UK. And also with regards to the aeroplane crash that happened, the 11th letter of the alphabet is K. You'll tend to find events that are surrounded by mysteriousness or nefarious, should we say, that aren't natural. Things that would be kind of the only word I'd kind of describe it as people sleep in splinter cells. People are activated to kind of go carry out certain tasks and stuff, whether they're employed by the government or other authorities. The reason that I say this with regards to number 11 and the letter K is because you'll find events happen where people lose their lives under suspicious circumstances. I believe the 11th also applies to Mike Lynch, whose yacht mysteriously sunk. The 11th day is also to do with Axel Rudabakana, and we know what he was. So yes, that's the way kind of number 11 is incorporated. And obviously someone who takes somebody's life also begins with the letter K. So you'll find events where people lose their lives surrounded by mysteriousness. This will tend to happen on the 11th day. Now, bearing in mind this week is Passover, and they like to do certain events and things with numerology, so it kind of coincides. I believe the 19th is coming up this week. So if anything is going to happen, I would say to pay attention to the 19th, or it would be the 18th, because 1 and 8 equals 9. And we know that number 9 is the number of beginning and endings and completion, which is why your things happen that end and finish on a 9 day. So just to shout out and refer back to what Zombieland Variant said, yes, he's correct. Katy Perry's last name was Hudson, and we had the Hudson River. We'll come to
the crash is raising alarms about.
We'll come to Katy Perry a bit further on in the video, and see what numerology tells us about her, and also with regards to today. So is there anybody in the chat section who's noticed anything else with regards to numerology or any events? Is there anything that's happened in the past week that's caught your attention, and anything that you've learned from the channel or from purchasing the book that you've read that you've then applied kind of to your life, or that has kind of decoded the matrix for you? It'd be very interesting to know what kind of feedback and how you've applied numerology to your own life. So if we move then further forward, it will then bring us to the 13th of April. Now, the 13th is the homage number and the respect number to Freemasonry. The 13th letter of the alphabet is M. Masons stand with M. Also, once again, somebody who takes somebody else's life is also related to the number 13 and then the letter M. Which brings us to the 13th of April. And on this day, the first thing that we had was regards to the Manchester, I believe it was the Manchester airport. I think it was. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was the Ariana Grande concert, wasn't it? From what I can remember. He decided on the 13th that he was going to attack 3 prison guards. So there's another number 3 for you. His name also begins with the letter H. So in the past week, we've had events that are surrounded by the letter H and the number 8, the number 3 and the number 6, and also the number 11. So people who were born on the 13th day would actually fall under the number of law and order, and the 13th, obviously 1 of 4, is the number of law and order. So it's just strange that on this day this man decided that he was going to carry out an attack. He was obviously responsible for the Ariana Grande attack, and that was in Manchester. Manchester also begins with the letter M. And then there's also Rory McIlroy, I hope I've said that correct, who won the Golf Masters. So his last name, McIlroy, begins with M. He also won the Masters. And as always, numerology astrology never fails us. So we looked into his date of birth. He just so happens to be born in 1989. Now, I'm going to give you this opportunity first. What animal do you reckon that Rory is born under, considering he's just won the Masters? So I'll give you a few minutes for you to drop down in the chat section what you think the answer is. So the question is what Chinese astrology animal is Rory McIlroy? He has won other tournaments, Rory. He's never won this specific tournament. He's never come first. He's never won what they call the green jacket. The only kind of other people who have managed to achieve this kind of achievement are other people such as Tiger Woods, who's actually won this 5 times. So yeah, I'll give you a couple of minutes for a few of you. Exotic Doll has put horse. Does anybody else have any suggestions or ideas of what Vietnamese astrology animal that Rory McIlroy is? Come on, Wiz, I would have thought you might have an answer here for this, because I know you've been doing your research lately with regards to numerology astrology and also Vietnamese zodiac animals. Okay, well, I'm going to spoil this one for you anyway. So, Rory's born in 1989. 2025 is the year of the snake. We came out of the year of the dragon into the year of the snake on the 29th of January 2025 this year. Rory McIlroy, born 1989, is born year of the snake. So, in his own energy year, Rory has actually won the Grand Masters of golf in his own energy. Yeah, I don't know whether you quite beat me to that one, Wiz, or whether that was a par joint effort. But yes, you're correct. Yeah, so he's born energy year of the snake, which is why in his own energy year he won the Grand Masters of golf. Then, which brings us forward to today, which is the 14th of April, 2025. So people born on the 14th day would be a number 5. These people are classed as the most attractive people. If you go check your Facebook friends or people that you know who are born on the 5th, the 14th, the 23rd, you'll find these are the most attractive people, which is why you find that Valentine's Day is on the 14th. So not only was Katy Perry in a video called Fireworks with a very noticeable black and white checkered floorboard on the balcony, but today she decided she was going to go into what they called an outer space launch We know this wasn't outer space at all. It's probably the highest point that you can actually get to before you actually touch the firmament. And they say it's zero gravity. What causes this kind of gravitational force is actually the fact of the capsule dropping so quickly, then actually creates inside a vacuum that then creates no gravity. This only tends to last for about 30 seconds to a minute before you then kind of stabilize, and gravity kind of kicks back in, and the thickness of the air then becomes thicker as you get closer towards the Earth. So the space shuttle was called Blue Origin, as far as I know. Katy Perry, obviously a very attractive woman. Just happens that she decides to do this launch on the 14th. 1 and 4 equals 5. As Zombieland variants mentioned already, Katy Perry's last original name was actually Katy Hudson. And also, today is the 14th, and 1 and 5 in numerology also equals the number of travel, which is why today Katy Perry decided to take a space travel. So you can just see over the past few days how numerology astrology aligns with the events that have gone on, certain people that have been involved in them events, the letters associated with them events, and also the numbers. So also people born on the 13th, it's not only the number of homage to the Freemasons, people born under the 13th are associated with the letter M. So they're associated with manipulation, manifestation, and money. Just take a look at some of your comments. Parabolic flight, yeah, that's the kind of thing that it was. I'm sure they never thought that they're actually going to get to outer space, considering we looked at Elon Musk's 25 launches that he's done so far, and not one has made it to outer space. Oh, did she? I didn't know his his fiance. I didn't know his fiance picked the actual team. Oh, are they really? They're all enemies of Russell Brand. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, Russell Brand would fall under the kind of fraction or fraternity, should I say. They call it the court jester card. So these are people who are basically kind of what you'd say as plants or shills. They're people that come across as they tend to play a character, as what they call them royal actors. So they tend to play a character like many of them do. You'll also find that they swap from shows to shows where they're interviewed. So they tend to interview each other on their own shows. You tend to find the guests all kind of intertwine and go on each other's different platforms. That's why you don't tend to get any newcomers from the outside, really, apart from if they pick them or refer to. So yeah, I did notice Jeff Bezos' fiance that came out. I also noticed Oprah Winfrey was there, which was quite interesting. I don't kind of know why she was there. I think one of her friends might have been there from what I could tell, but I'm not too sure on that. Someone else would have to obviously clear that up for me. Yeah, I noticed Audio Oracle that she came out holding the daisy with regards to a reference to her daughter. That's the one she's engaged to Orlando Bloom. She's had a child with, hasn't she? Yes. Yeah, Blue Origin. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the name. Sorry. Yeah, it's a reference to Walter's, the womb, Walter's breaking, which is why when you give birth, it comes through the birth canal, which is why when we're born, we're actually born under maritime law, not the law of the land, which is why they then create a straw man of you for a version of the law of the land. So the law of the land can then be applied to you, and you're actually born as e-commerce or a business, because a individual or person cannot actually be taken to court, which is why you'll find that criminals who have to attend court for serious crimes, such as Axel Ritter Bacana, he actually attended court just to announce his name, confirm his name, his date of birth, I believe. I don't think his address. It might be, but as far as I know, it is definitely name and date of birth. This is the person who then is asked their name and date of birth is actually then removed from the court and then goes back to the actual cells and then comes back to court at a later date for an actual hearing. So the actual process and the part of the process for the person attending to give their name and their date of birth is to confirm that they are the representation of the business and the company. If this isn't done, then the contract can't be set up where you're actually inducted into the court system. It's actually very hard to induct someone into the court system if they don't clarify that they are the person responsible for the e-commerce. So that's where your kind of birth certificate comes in as such, which is what a boat or a ship does, which is when it comes into dock, which is why you have a doctor and you have a birth certificate because of the birth of the ship, which is where also citizenship, friendship, and a few others that are surrounded with regards to ship. So yes, it's all with regards to reference to the waters maritime law. Your birth certificate that you're actually given is not actually a birth certificate, it's actually your death certificate, which is why it says births, deaths and marriages at the top. Yes, you're correct. Yeah, nice one for that. Yeah, Hudson River water. So is there any other questions anybody else would like to ask, or anything else anybody would like to add? Yeah, I'm not putting that comment up. I know what you're saying with regards to the waters and everything else. Yeah, no, you're correct. Yeah, just the coincidence and the connection between Hudson and the waters and the helicopter, and just the fact that it kind of is all so very near and close together that this has all happened. So yeah, that's kind of what the numbers have told us really this week with regards to numerology. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come this week. Like I said, keep an eye out for the 18th, because 1 and 8 equals 9, beginning and endings and cycles, and also number 19. We know they like to use number 19 because we had Nicola Bully in the UK that disappeared for 19 days. There was Jay Slater, who went missing in Tenerife last year. He was 19 years of age. There's many other cases as well with the number 19 in, but you'll tend to find they've got the number 19 in, as well as the number 3. 3 is also the number of crime, which is why you will find it in these articles time and time again. So with regards to the Hudson River crash, it will be very interesting to see if anything transpires in relation to the passengers any further. The reason I say the number 19 as well is the passenger on the Hudson helicopter crash. One of the family members of the members of 6 that lost their lives, like I've said, he was the Siemens mobile phone boss. Oh yeah, sorry, yes, I get what you mean now. Yes, yeah. Sorry, with the helicopter, with the sorry, yeah. No, I know what you mean now by what you said with regards to the phone company. Sorry, I just thought it was you was going in a direction of somewhere else for a minute, but yeah, no. Siemens obviously begins with S. The 19th letter of the alphabet is S. So that's just another thing to tie in there. So anyway, on that note, thank you very much for everybody that's joined me. You've been awesome with your input in this live show, so thank you very, very much. There's bits that even I'd missed myself, so thanks for that. So thanks for clearing them points up and making me aware of them, which is why I love doing these streams, because I get to learn something as much as you do. So thank you very much. Like I said, people who've emailed the details with regards to trying the early access for the app, you will get notification in the next couple of days. So just keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, if you haven't already, you can go and grab yourself a copy of Numerology Astrology Breaking the Matrix, which is available on Amazon, which covers all the stuff that we talk about in the live streams. I've got a couple of videos to drop on the channel, probably in about the next half an hour to hour once I get off of here. They're to do with spelling and manifestation as well. So they might be interesting for you, and how you can use your kind of mental side to kind of coincide with the physical realm, so to speak, the mental astral plane, so they call it. So anyway, on that note, thank you very much for joining me. You've been an awesome crowd as always. I've been Mr. Freemo. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'm out of here.